Good morning, Alexia. It's Raptor Freak here. It is Wednesday morning, and we're still on this West Coast trip. We're still in a Pacific time zone today on Wednesday, which pisses me off because I was hoping we could be back in the Eastern time zone sooner. But it's our schedule. We're still in the Pacific. We have one more Western game against the Clippers tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then they got to come right back and do the time travel backwards, jet lag, and get back over in our time zone to play the Lakers again on Friday. Well, let's not overlook this game tonight against the Clippers. They're a mixed bag when you see them. Sometimes you get a really good effort, a little bit of overachieving by their collection of players that have been available this year, and sometimes they just dog it. Yeah, they just dog it. They've actually been losing more than they've been winning recently, and they do have serious injuries. And it's like, what kind of season had the Clippers have anyway? Like, they haven't had Kawhi Leonard all year. When is Paul George around? Like, I'm starting to think that Kawhi Leonard is kind of like a con artist because, like, over the last 4 years or so, how much has he actually played other than when he played for us in different ways? Like, he's been hurt maybe like 60% of the time since like his last year in San Antonio. If you count that year where he sat out and strong armed them and made them leave, how much has Kawhi Leonard really been playing? Like, yeah, he played on the championship Raptors in 2019. And even then, we had load management. It's amazing to think how much we got out of him in the 1 year we had him, because it just seems like he's always on the shelf, that he's never available. And it doesn't sound like he's going to even play this year. So we don't need to worry about Kawhi Leonard tonight, which is great. That's a great way to start. And then Paul George, same kind of thing. I mean, let me look at their injuries. Let's start right off the bat with the injuries, because this is really the most important thing about the Clippers is who on their roster is not going to be there, because it looks real good on paper. Steve Ballmer, you built an amazing team, but when are they ever going to fucking show up is what I'm saying. You know, Jason Preston is a point guard. He is listed as out today against the Wizards. I don't know why it says the Wizards. Maybe they should update this, but Jason Preston is out. Paul George is out. Norman Powell is out. Our good friend Norman is out. It's too bad because like we always love to see Norman. Hopefully he'll be at the game in plain clothes and able to pal around with Fred and Pascal and OG a bit. A guy named Scrub is out. So their Scrub is out, and Kawhi Leonard is out, of course. Yes, of course, Kawhi's there. So when you look at their depth chart, it's really interesting. And this is the thing. Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris both sat out a game recently against the Cavs. And the reason why they said that, Tyronn Lue said, we sat out Jackson and Morris because we're in a good, tight spot where we are in the play-in. We're pretty in between like everybody. We don't really have a lot of wiggle room. We're not worried about getting out of the play-in. We're not worried about falling out of the play-in. So let's rest Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris against the Cavs. And well, what happened was they got blown out and beat down by the Cavs. And I hate that. Like, I'm going to think something's a little fishy because Tyronn Lue is the former coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And maybe he was trying to do a solid for his former team in an Eastern Conference playoff race. Yeah. Then what if he's going to play Morris and Jackson against us tonight instead? See, that's the kind of shit I don't like on the down low. Sometimes other teams are doing other teams solids. Like the Clippers are in a spot where they are okay with where they want to be, and they don't really feel threatened of falling out of the play-in like the Lakers feel right now. They're going to go ahead and rest their two best players against the Cavs and then let them beat them. That's fishy shit. I'm going to tell you right now, because if Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson are there tonight to play us, that's a big difference. That's a huge difference. They may be their best two players on the court right now with all their guys hurt. So I don't like that. I don't like that. One of the guys that's really killing it for them right now is Zubac, the center. We really need to watch out for him as far as like him dominating down low with any rebounds and post moves. We've been doing better against big guys like that recently. You know, Jokic gets his, Ayton gets his, but if we can really limit Zubac and just really mess him up. Once again, the Clippers are overall pretty short. Like they have Zubac and they got a couple guys like Morris that are tall, but for the most part, they're only got maybe two or three guys that are in the range of where all our guys are, and then everybody's shorter. So we should be able to handle them just like we did on New Year's Eve. And they had Serge at that time, and Serge was playing in that game. But I really am not, I really want to beat the Clippers. I don't want to take them lightly because they will overachieve and make a real game of things. So I'm not going to say this is going to be an easy game, but I will say that we have a good chance to beat them because the talent levels are not equal. We have a way more talented team, a way better team as far as we've got an all NBA kind of talent like Pascal Siakam. We have a fantastic rookie. We have Fred VanVleet. We have Gary Trent Jr. And the other side, they're talking about their names right now, Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris. Yeah, I'm sorry. It just doesn't line up. Zubac, keep him off of dominating down low for sure. And then you got Luke Kennard, who can be really annoying and get like a lot of points really fast. So we have to keep an eye on him and really stifle him also. But these are just the recipes for success tonight. These are the keys to victory. And I hope that this all can happen in a good way. We can finish this trip on a good note. And it'll mean that we ended up 5-1 for the 6 games, which is absolutely fantastic. It's way overachieving what I expected to happen on this road trip. When you looked at that road trip on paper, you were like, wow, if we can get half these games, that'd be awesome. But wow, we have way overachieved. The back-to-back against Phoenix and Denver, just those 2 games right there made this trip a success right from there. And beating the Lakers and beating the Clippers on the way out will be just fantastic to add to it. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Good morning, JT. Good to see you first thing in the morning. Let's go, JT416. Keeping it down in the 6, baby. Hope all is well, my brother. Love and appreciate your grind, my guy. Yes, man. I'm here every morning. I'm grinding like this. That's what Chris Boucher is all about, the grind. He has some cool Instagram posts this morning, very inspirational. He's talking about how he asked God for strength and God gave him problems and he had to deal with, and that's how he got stronger. Yes, Chris, go through that grind, go through that adversity, come in there. Really funny stuff on Instagram yesterday with their day off in LA. Scotty was in the swimming pool out west. Yeah, yesterday. And Chris Boucher posted it. He said Scotty Phelps. And basically it's just Scotty jumping in the pool and like splashing some water around. He didn't even swim or nothing. But yeah, just fun little stuff to see that they're having a good time out there. And when I juxtapositioned the snow that was coming down yesterday and seeing Scotty in a nice sunny California pool, I was happy for him. But also I heard that the Raptors on their day off yesterday, they went to the Tupac Museum in LA. Yeah, like they went as a team, as a team trip. They do these sometimes when they're on the road. So we can expect on Open Gym in the next month or so, really cool part where they all go and visit the Tupac Museum in LA. So you'll be able to see that, I'm sure. They're going to film it and we'll see it all on Open Gym, I'm sure. JT saying, no, I wanted Gary Trent Jr. to match up with Norman. Yeah, we're not going to get that. It's unfortunate. I mean, I worry about Norman in some ways. I know that him going to Portland was okay. He found it all right. He kind of liked being in the Rose City, but then he got turned around and traded to the Clippers, which was even better in some ways because that's kind of closer to his hometown. He's a California guy. He was going to be reunited with Serge and Kawhi. Well, Serge went, but he's still with Kawhi. And, Norm has had injury concerns since he's left the Raptors. And, this has been a great trade for the Raptors, but in a lot of ways, it was been a great trade for Norman also. I know he wishes he was still here because in some ways it's like, he's kind of out and rudderless in some ways because he doesn't really have he has a place on the Clippers for sure, but it's like it's not really like fitting exactly like Gary Trent is fit in here. Like we know Gary Trent's come here and he's like, boom, he's all right. But Norman's kind of out there wandering a little bit on the NBA right now. Hopefully he can find his place again, his really steady, awesome place where he's happy. And it could be with the Clippers. We'll just have to see if it takes to it, all that kind of stuff. Race Mode Daily, always good to see you. Good morning, freaks. The internet is still blowing up with the LeBron memes. Pascal, California. Yes, there are people savaging LeBron James this week now since the Laker game, and rightfully so. This is the thing that we did. Like, this is once again the Raptor factor. When the Raptors come to a team and they beat the shit out of them, things happen. Yeah, Luke Walton gets fired. things happen. You know what happened on Monday night after the game? Everybody's questioning whether LeBron James is truly the greatest of all time now. Yeah, because LeBron looked really tacky in that game, and they're losing, and everybody's saying, is that the behavior that the greatest player of all time should be exhibiting? Is that the kind of player that we want to celebrate? This big fucking baby ass punk motherfucker doing punk ass shit on the court and acting like such a prima donna? Well, now there's a lot more ammunition and fire out there for people to say that the Lakers and LeBron James suck. Yeah, they suck real bad, and that Michael Jordan would never allow his team to get to this low, to get to this point. That it didn't matter who was on the team with them. They could be the scrubbiest of scrubs in the league. That Michael would somehow, some way lead them, even at an age in the 40s, would still do something, because the years that Michael had with the Wizards were very interesting. They weren't the high caliber quality that he had with the Bulls, obviously, as far as the winning and the team around him. But he still had that team winning, and he still performed at a high level, and he still made good things happen as a Wizard. And I don't know if you can say that about LeBron in some ways right now with this Laker team this year. So that's the thing. We wreck people. We wreck coaches' careers. We wreck other teams. And then they have to look themselves in the mirror and they say, how do we lose to the Raptors? Oh my gosh. It's like we're more venomous than other teams because we put a prick of poison in there in their minds, because they devalue us so much that makes them think they're even worse, even though we're badasses, and they should be like, wow, we respect them and they beat our ass. But then they still think, oh, it's the purple dinosaurs, nobody should be losing to them, so they make it really even worse in their heads. And that's the damage we do on this double-edged sword about who we are and how the NBA looks at us. And I love that in a way. We might as well embrace the advantages of it. If people are going to discount us and look at us poorly, when we fuck people up, then they should take that and put that in account in there and make it even worse for the team that we fucked up. Oh yeah, I love it. But yeah, they're savaging LeBron this week. I love all the pictures of Pascal and Scotty with Russell and LeBron on their lap as little babies crying like, yeah, we're daddy, it's okay, little baby boys, yeah, we're daddy here, yeah. You know, that kind of shit's going on right now, and I love it. And the Past California motif is beautiful. I love it because it's perfect. Past Californication, you know, whatever, man. We have these beautiful pictures of Pascal from the All-Star break at the beach with this starfish on a 4x4 and just having a good fucking time out in the sunny place. Let's put those pictures with the Past California logo and make a whole motif of it. Yeah, Past California. That's right. No more LeBronto. That's what OG said. It's Past California now, bitches. Yeah. JT saying that's no problem, Alexiot. Rest whoever you want because we bring in the heat. Anyway, yeah, that's right. They can rest whoever they want. Kawhi doesn't want to play. Kawhi's collecting checks. He doesn't give a shit about playing. He just wants to make money, Steve Ballmer. He just conned your fucking ass. And Masai was like, no, we ain't doing that shit for you here. You can't be GM. You can't do this. It's like, no, you got to go. And then he left. And that may have been one of the biggest bullets we've dodged as a franchise. I'm not going to lie. Some people were like, oh, the Raptors are such losers. They just lost their finals MVP, their greatest player ever in their history. Some people like to fucking say that Kawhi is the greatest player that ever played for us. He may have been the best player or the most talented player that ever played for us, but he's not the greatest player that ever played for us. And honestly, if we had kept him on and given him everything he wanted, and we had Russell Westbrook on our team right now, and this bullshit that's going on right now, we would be so miserable as Raptor fans. So we dodged a bullet when Kawhi took that money and went to LA. It's really worked out really well. And at that time, it was heartbreaking because we were getting robbed of something at that point. And that was the chance to defend our title. And that's why we were so pissed off about it, because that's never the way you want to decide whether you are defending champions and can repeat, is that your best player takes off on you as a free agent in the offseason after you just won. Shit is just not fucking right, because NBA champions should be kept together for another year so that they get a chance to try and see if they can do it again. And we never got that opportunity. And Kawhi will never, ever know whether he could have with the fucking better Raptor team the next year. He was wrong. He said this team wasn't good enough. He was wrong. Our record showed it. And we kicked so much ass in the year after him that he honestly, if he had stuck around, we would have repeated. There wouldn't have been any of these bullshit in the bubble. I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened. Oh yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Anyway, you slice it, JT. That's right. I love it. I love the attitude. Sue's saying, "Good morning, everyone. Let's beat the Clippers tonight. We need to come out strongly like we did with the Lakers." Yeah, if we could repeat what we did to the Lakers and Clippers, which isn't likely because the Clippers are actually a good team in some ways, that'd be fantastic. It was 30-2 at one point. That'd be fucking fantastic. I love that picture. And people are putting that up all over the place. The Lakers score from the other night, 30-2, and they're just pure jokes going on. Like Laker fans can't even defend this shit. They're in misery. They're like, oh my gosh. Some of them are just trying to salvage LeBron's reputation. The LeBron fans out there are talking so much stupid shit to try and defend him and what he's doing right now and all this stuff. It's hilarious. Honestly, it's hilarious. It's like a comedy show at this point. And I just love that our team does things right. And that's where the payoff is, that you get things like this. You see the other teams are having problems like this. And because we do things right, we don't have these problems. And that is fantastic. I love it. NBA action's fantastic. Andrew saying, Alexi, I'm still annoyed by LeBron. Yeah, you don't get past this. LeBron's going to probably annoy us for a long time. I mean, really, come on. What a crybaby. Yes, very much a crybaby. I really want to beat him again in Toronto to put an end to LeBronto once and for all. Yes, this is really super important. And in some ways, LeBron may be trying to calculate and plot his way to get us back tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, Friday night. So we need to be careful about this game on Friday. It's a trap game in a way. It's a trap game because we got to travel back all these time zones after tonight real quick and play in the Eastern time zone, which is, it switches you back because like really it's the old time. We're playing at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time from before the time change, and then they're going to come back here and play at 7:30 on Friday evening. It's tough to deal with. And, there's always the thing that Monique says, the first home game after a long road trip is you come out with some bad energy sometimes. So there's a lot of factors in there that can make this a very tricky, dangerous game for the Raptors. We cannot take it lightly just because they look like such shit on Monday. And we need to really come out there. But then again, like you said yesterday, Andrew, LeBron may not even come across the border. He may not even decide to come into Canada to face us like Giannis did a couple times earlier this season. So we should be able to expect whatever and be ready for whatever. And we'll see what happens. But first, the Clippers. We can't get ahead. We will get more payback against LeBron. And I love what you're saying. Let's end this LeBronto bullshit once and for all here in Toronto and say, this is it, that you're done with this bullshit. You do not have the rights to our Toronto sign. You cannot put this LEB on the front of it anymore. We hate this shit. Yeah, Click 2M saying can't take this team lightly. They're better than the Lakers. They are way better than the Lakers. It really depends on who shows up, who's healthy. Of course, if they have more of their bodies, they're better. But like I'm looking at their depth chart, and I'm like, there's no superstars on this team. They did get Robert Covington back this week, which is a good add-on. But like, there's really no true superstars on this team. People overvalue Reggie Jackson, in my opinion. I don't think he's as good as everybody thinks he is. Terrence Mann is nasty off the bench. He can be a very annoying scorer. We need to keep track of him, obviously. And then, like, who the rest? I mean, Marcus Morris is a glorified goon who can score a bit. Nicholas Batum is a talented guy, and Zubac is Zubac. But really, there's no names. There's no big bad boogeymen on this team. It's just I think they're worse actually than when we saw them on New Year's Eve. When I look at that team on paper without Serge on it and a couple other things, I just don't see them being as good. So I think that they're in a worse place than they were when we actually saw them the first time this year. So that could be actually really good. So Click 2, I'm saying, how's Malachi still out, bro? Laughing my ass off. Yeah, I don't know. It's his hamstring. They said it's going to be 10 days. Who knows? I mean, he is on our injury list still tonight. Let me see. We'll go over our injuries real quick. There's some interesting stuff, actually, I need to talk about with OG right now. Malachi is still out. Yeah, they're just saying he'll be out for 10 days, and tomorrow will be 10 days. So maybe this is the last game he misses. Who knows? Fred went and saw a specialist in LA also about his knee. He's questionable for tonight. And then OG is actually doubtful for tonight. OG has not been ruled out for tonight, guys. He fully practiced yesterday with the team, and he is possible to play tonight. That's as crazy as that sounds. OG may be back because basically when they looked at his finger on Monday, it was still not healing. It's basically in the same place it was, this ring finger on his shooting hand. and the fracture's still there, but it's the kind of injury he can play with. It's just going to wear a big thing that covers it and protects it, and maybe it's going to mess up his offense a little bit. Like, he might not be able to shoot very well, but hopefully he can do everything else that he does really well on the court. But I don't think we should be going to him for a lot of shots if he is going to come back, because it is a shooting hand. He is going to have to wear some sort of protective thing on his finger, and it could really hinder his accuracy. So I would much rather, if he is going to come back, I don't really think he should rush back and just come back. In fact, he should probably sit tonight no matter what, but maybe possibly he comes and plays on the Laker game on Friday night. And that's the thing. He could be back that soon. Like, he could be playing tonight. I could be completely wrong. And OG might be in the lineup tonight. So that's really good news in a way. It's too bad it's not healing better, but it's the kind of thing that's just like, it's not going to heal fast. And then why not play with it still? Hopefully it doesn't make it worse. It's very much the same injury that Jared Allen has right now. Also, he got that injury in the game against us the last time we played him. It's a very similar kind of thing where his fingers broke, but it's not displaced, and they're trying to figure out whether he should play or not. So Jared Allen's the same boat. Let's keep going. JT saying LeBron lost composure against us more than other teams because he expected the win. Laughing my ass off. Here, LeBron, hold this L with the salt shaker. Salty old ass motherfucker. Yeah, I love that. He did really lose his composure. I mean, really, seriously. I went on Scotty Barnes' Instagram, and he posted a really nice post yesterday about his West Coast trip and all the games he's had. And he had a picture of him with LeBron. And I wrote on there, I said, Scotty, congratulations on acting like a true pro and a veteran when others around you were not holding to the same standard. Yeah. And I'm sure if he saw that, he knew what I was talking about without straight up putting down LeBron. It's just insane that this dude has been in the league for 20 years or so, and he acts like this in his 20th season, that he has that much immaturity still at this point in his career. There's nobody should be doing that. Rookies shouldn't be doing what he's doing at his 20th year out there, slinging the ball around and throwing guys on the ground and stuff like that. That's just bad. He's a horrible role model as a player on the court. Maybe he's a role model for like going out and being successful in life and being a great basketball player, but he's a horrible role model as a player on the court. You do not want to be like LeBron James. If you're a young basketball star, do not emulate him. Do not act like him. Do not try and have the same mindset as him. It's the wrong fucking path. Go find another NBA superstar like DeMar DeRozan and emulate him. He's the right path, okay? Youngsters that are trying to go out there and be NBA stars, you want to emulate someone? Don't emulate LeBron James. Go emulate Kobe. Go emulate Michael. Go emulate DeMar DeRozan, but not LeBron, because he's a punk-ass bitch, and he is a crybaby, and he will lose his temper, and he will show you behavior that you do not want to show on the court yourself. So that's what I'm saying right there. Click2M saying, did you see Rachel Nichols was with Masai and Nick Nurse yesterday? Interesting. No, I didn't see that. She did an interview with them or something, I'm guessing. Rachel Nichols has had a lot of adversity in the last year or so. She got fired from her job for some comments and stuff like that. I'm not sure who she's working for at this point. Click saying OG could return Friday. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Tom Duke saying, let's keep it going. Tom, you know that real mascot matchup's coming up. Well, I'll do it in just a sec. I want to get through some of these comments first, and then we'll do the real mascot matchup. Yeah, man. Click saying, I hate 10:30 games, but tonight it's going to work out. I'm going to see some cousins I haven't seen in a while, so I should make it home before the game. That's great, Click. Yeah, they're annoying. I mean, they're really annoying because, like, we get done at like 1 in the morning when they're done, and then I like to stay up and watch the post-game stuff, like all the interviews. I like to see when they put out the highlights, and I can rewatch the highlights so it stays fresh in my mind. I have more things to talk about when I come in here, and it's fresh in my head and stuff like that. And that was really hard. Like, it's almost pointless for me to watch them that late because I can't pay attention because I can't have my eyes open. So I'm thinking about tonight, maybe getting that playlist with those interviews and stuff like that and save them for the morning and watching them in the morning first thing instead of trying to stay up so late tonight. I think I'm just going to cut the game off right when it's over and go to bed and catch all that stuff in the morning before I get on my reaction. So, yeah, it is tough. It messes with your body schedule. Like, this week has really kind of messed me up. This DST has messed me up with the West Coast trip together. because my schedule is oriented around the Raptors and when they play. So I'm on a later schedule right now because they're out west, and the DST absolutely wreaked havoc with that too. I have had trouble knowing what time of day it is in some ways inherently in my body because my biological body clock is all fucked up from time change. So yeah, it's crazy. Let's keep going. JT saying it was better Leonard left because I would trade in a championship season for Barnes being here long term. Yeah, I think it was better that Leonard left. It's like, don't stick around too long to let us really hate you for some of the things that are bad about you. Stick around and let us love you for every single great thing about you in a short little time. And we can kind of control it for this period of time. But after that, it could have gotten worse. Like, think about it. He's coming back in for the second year with the Raptors as finals MVP, as lauded as maybe the most important person on the Raptors altogether, and that he might want that stratification as far as like, I'm above and beyond the whole rest of the team. And he already does that kind of shit with his load management and some of the things he does behind the scenes. And that's why him and Kyle had conflict around Christmas in 2018, is because Kawhi wanted special treatment. He wanted to be exempt from practices. He wanted to be able to sit out games even though he's healthy because of load management. And Kyle didn't agree with that. He went against his principles as a leader of the Raptors at that time. And that's where the conflict was. And they kept it under wraps. We didn't find out about it until after the championship season was over. And that was part of the reason why Kyle sat at the end of the bench during that time in that season with a towel on his top of his head. Yeah, you remember that period of time when Kyle was sitting at the end of the bench with the towel on the top of his head. That was him in silent protest of how they were treating Kawhi Leonard. That is exactly what that was, guys. All right, JT's also saying, what we do what other teams don't want to do, which is fundamentals, effort, and play. 48 minutes. We don't cut corners. We get quality at every position in the organization, and we get the best. And these people that come in, they get to do their jobs without being screwed around with, whether it's the GM, Bobby Webster, whether it's the coach, Nick Nurse, whether it's whatever department. There's not other people in other departments crossing lines and trying to say, well, I want to be the GM. I'm LeBron James. Or I want to be, the coach. I'm Kawhi Leonard. We don't have people doing that. The lines and the people and the positions are very delineated the right way. And we have the best people in those kind of positions. So it works well. It's like a machine. When all the gears and the parts are oiled and working in syncopation, the machine works real well. And that's the thing with other teams. They got other people putting their hands in other people's jobs when they shouldn't be. And then you got disgruntled people. You got people that don't try. That's one of the building blocks is you want players that are going to work. Players that are going to continue to develop, that aren't going to sit on their laurels once they get that bag. And too many players are like that in the NBA. It's honestly human nature that once you get to that success and you get that big money, that you're not going to work as hard. And that's not the case with our guys. And I think that may be even deeper on the deeper level, how we decide who sticks around here with this team, with all these great guys that we have now. For the future, is we really going to look at the guys and say, like, is this guy like Pascal? Is he going to come and work every single year and show improvements and just be a badass, even though we just pay him $30 million a year? Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at with these guys. So we need to really suss out between our main core guys right now for the future, who we really do want to invest in that is that optimum, like they're going to continue to develop and get better and better, like Fred and Pascal are. And that's why we invested in those two guys specifically, majorly, because these are the guys that lead this and show this for the rest of them. And other guys aren't with that program and aren't doing that with that kind of level of development and getting better and better, then they're going to get traded, or they're going to, we're going to do something with them. So I love that. That's really a big part of it is function. Our team is functional. And there's so much dysfunction in this league in all kinds of different places. Look at the Lakers. The Lakers are the epitome of dysfunction right now. The Knicks are the epitome of dysfunction. These teams are dysfunctional. And the more dysfunction in your team, the harder it is for the team to concentrate on winning and doing well. Whereas everything around our Raptors in their environment, as far as organization, is just pushing them towards success and not getting in the way, where there's a lot of things in the way in other places. And I love that. That's a big part of it. Andrew's saying, hopefully OG was right and Nick really figured LeBron out. I think they did. The evidence is there over and over again, the way we play them. I think that they figured out we'll allow LeBron to do certain things because they're actually kind of detrimental to the team overall, his team. But we won't let him do some things that really are good. And I think one of them is that we really keep him out of the post. We keep him out of the post. So anything he was trying to do on Monday night was drives, was really that quick first step and trying to go around and attack the rim. That was what he was doing mostly on Monday. And he had some success with it. Russell was doing the same kind of shit. And they would get to the lane and they get these lay-ins or dunks or something like that. That was the best thing they had going because they had nothing going outside. And really, they weren't playing off of each other. It's really like an isolation. I'm going to bring the ball up and I'm going to completely try and beat you by myself off of my raw talent. And that's not a good winning strategy because you're not utilizing your team concept. You're basically just the best player ever out there trying to beat a team by yourself with a bunch of other guys standing around. So it's silly. JT saying, I agree, Alexi. We should be able to take the Clippers given the situations. We really should. It's a must win. Our guys are very professional. Nick Nurse is a badass. He's going to get them prepared. Hopefully, they're not doing weird things in California the last couple of days where they may be weird because they went and did something weird, like partied or did some crazy shit while they're out there and maybe they're not rested or something. I don't know. I think they're professionals. They're smart and they'll be okay. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. But there is always a worry that, when you're in LA for 2 days, 2 nights, and you can go out and you can do whatever. I don't know what they've been doing. I hope they've been just keeping to basketball and staying on business because that's the way Chris Boucher's been portraying it on Instagram. He says, this is a business trip. That's how he says it. This is not a pleasure trip. This is not for fun. This is a business trip, as Chris puts it. I love it. Let's see. JT saying, honestly, OG, just take another game off. The lads can handle it. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I don't want them to do it in this weird switch time, like where we're going to be jumping these time zones to come back to Toronto. Go ahead and take this night off too, and then get on your body rhythm with the Eastern Standard Time. And then we have a couple of road trip games after the game on Friday night. We go to Philadelphia and Chicago or something like that next. And take that time off, OG, and just come back and get acclimated back to East Coast time. You don't need to do the West Coast time at all. You haven't played any games out there. Why play the game tonight? This doesn't make sense. So wait one more game and come back and put some OG-itis on LeBron on Friday night. Yeah, we love that. JT saying LeBron, immaturity. That's how you become when you expect to win, same as the Lakers fan base. Yeah, they're very spoiled. They're very me. I should just automatically win. We should just expect us to be this and this. Yeah, they're fucked up. They are kind of an extension of LeBron's kind of attitude and the way they are. The fans are the same kind of way. There's a lot of Laker fans here in Toronto. Like my friend Stevie Roots has somebody that he deals with is a huge Laker fan. I think it's like a doctor that he sees for something. And he's always talking to him about the Lakers. And he's always got this over the top idea of who the Lakers are and how important they are. Way more important than they really are right now. They're a garbage team. And if this team was like Memphis or Minnesota, nobody would be paying any attention to them. And Charles Barkley is right for saying something like they need to take them off television. They should not be showing their games on TV. Why are they showing the Lakers on TV and they're not showing a team like the Raptors on TV down there? That's messed up because we're entertaining. We're fun to watch. People would enjoy watching our games. The Lakers is like, what are you fucking watching? You might as well watch a dog take a shit next to a fire hydrant. If you want to watch the Lakers play basketball. Geez, it's the same kind of shit, really. Let's keep going. Click saying she posted a picture with them on Instagram. Someone commented under a post saying that she's one of the few reporters who covers Toronto, and she responded saying that it's one of the best cities with the best fans. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Rachel Nichols, kudos to you. I don't know exactly what happened with the fallout with you and your job at ESPN or whatever. Something happened. It had something to do with some comment she made that maybe wasn't smart. It was maybe not politically correct or something like that. But yeah, I like hearing this. That, maybe, but when she was in that machine, was she really covering us and being nice to us then? It may be that now that she's kind of out and doing what she's doing now with whatever entity she's with, she's giving us a fair shake now. But anybody who's going to cover the Raptors fairly and equally with all the other Atlantic Division teams in the NBA, I'm totally on your side and I will support your work. Because we do get slighted in a lot of ways. And I like that. I like hearing that she's getting kudos for that and that she said nice things about Toronto. Click saying, I'm lucky. I'm on my March break right now, so no school for me. I could stay up. Yeah, hey, that's awesome, man. Yeah, get your reading week done, man. Come on, get your reading in. Not only that, you're on your March break, and it's going to be St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Look out! Look out! Whoa! Whoa! All right, let's see. JT saying behind Kyle Lowry 100% on that. Yeah, the stuff with Kawhi and Kyle, with what I was talking about with that. Yeah, that's really on the down low. What happened during our championship year that people don't even realize that there was a conflict between Leonard and Lowry, and that's what it was. Click 2 a.m. We're projected with the 17th draft pick. I wouldn't mind picking up another 3 and D player. Yeah, I mean, if we can do it through the draft, that's really hard to get a 3 and D player from the draft, though. There's the kind of thing that you have to have a player come into the league, get to a veteran status, and then prove that they're a 3D player. Like Gary Trent Jr., think about how long it took for him to become a 3D player. It was really this year. He wasn't with the D until this year. So it's not like you can somehow just pick them out because there are no guarantees. Guys may not be good defenders or may be good, not good at threes. So I'd rather find that 3 and D player that we do need. I totally agree with that in the free agency market. That it's not something we can solve through the draft. I think that the draft, the picks that we get this year will definitely be guys like Delano and Justin. There'll be guys that will be coming in to develop over time and hopefully possibly become good rotation players at some point. But I don't think that the draft is a quick fix for anything. Last year, yeah, maybe because that draft class was badass. But this year, I don't know. I wouldn't rely on the draft to get any good roles for next year. I really think it's going to have to be done through free agency. But if we get a nice project for down the road, that may be more likely. Let's see. JT saying, is that including the trade stipulations this year? Yeah, I think that is including that with I don't know. We're going to lose the first round pick probably just because of where we're going to land, and that's fine. Like the difference isn't the 17th pick; it's actually in the late 20s. It's a late 20s pick or it's an early 30s pick. The switch. It's not that much a difference in spots. I think it's like 7 spots apart. But one's in the end of the first round and one's at the beginning of the second round. And it doesn't matter. It's like if Masai and Bobby are picking in the late 20s or the early 30s, it's going to be around the same people that they're going to get. They're going to probably get gold either way. So there's not much difference in that. That whole thing about people saying, oh, we're losing a first round pick to take a second round pick. Who cares? Because it's only 7 draft picks apart. And there's not really that much difference. And then once again, we said earlier that may be actually smart because the way rookie scale pay contracts come out is you pay somebody in the first round more money. And if you get a guy who's 5 spots later who's actually in the second round, you can pay them less. And that helps with salary cap issues. So there's actually a lot of smart things about how they did that deal with Thad Young and the whole thing with the trade stipulation with the draft pick. It's really kind of smart because they're going to get money or they're going to get a higher pick, just slightly a couple of draft spots higher. So it's not that much more. It's like 7 pick difference, like the spots where we would switch. So it's not that big. Let's see. Yeah, Raptors 17, Pistons are 32. Is that right? We're 17? That doesn't seem right. We should be. Is it because of where we are in the standings? Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Click to Hams. Gary is more of a two-way shot creator. Yeah. We need to draft a shooter. I don't think when you draft a shooter, that's what I'm saying. You can't get a guy from the college and just depend on them to be a good shooter coming in. I'm sorry, it doesn't totally translate all the time. It has to do with heights, it has to do with speeds and stuff like that. They could be a badass shooter in college, and they could be jack shit in the NBA. So I'd rather get somebody who's proven already. We have so many young guys on our team that are trying to develop and prove themselves. We need proven guys to come in. That's been the whole problem with our bench is that we have development in our starting lineup and then we have development in our bench. And then there's some nights that nobody shows up. And that's what the problem's been. So we need steady veteran 3 and D or shooters off the bench. That's what will bolster our roster this summer and make us better is we need somebody who's dependable. We need somebody who will be there every single night and will knock down threes for us off the bench. And I don't think you can depend on any draft pick, anybody coming in like that. So that I think we're going to, the way I want to go about it is just get somebody established. So we don't have that question of uncertainty. Because Speed Mahalik has been such an uncertainty. Yuta's been such an uncertainty. Malachi's been such an uncertainty. We need certainty off our bench added to our core of really talented guys. And the best way is to get a vet. Best ways to get a vet. Let's see. Andrew saying, I don't really want to face Kyrie and play in. He popped off last night. Yeah, that was interesting. Kyrie got 60 points last night. Kyrie is such a fucking knucklehead, though. You know what he said also this week? He said he wants to become a member of the press and get a press pass so that he can come to the games or something. Like, why don't you just fucking get a vax, you fucking idiot? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you going all these different ways around with what you want to do? You go to the game as a fan the other day. Now you're saying you want a press pass and be in the games under press so you can come and hang out in the locker room with your teammates and not get fined $50,000. Your team got fined $50,000 because you came into the locker room on Sunday. He's an idiot. I can give him respect and say, wow, he fucking scored 60 points. That's a big deal. But he did do it against the Orlando Magic. Come on now, Andrew. He did do it against the Orlando Magic. And, he's been resting so much this year. Of course, he's got gas in the tank when everybody else is tired from this long ass grind this season. So he can come in all not tired and be like, yeah, and burn them. So I see what he did, and it is impressive. But also, I'm more impressed with what Cat did than what Kyrie did, honestly, because that's more impressive because he's been working all year and he's been carrying that Minnesota team. And Kyrie's been sitting on his ass. So, of course, he's fresh. He can come out and score 60 on a team like the Magic. So it's like, yeah, but I don't want to face him either. But this is the thing, too. We still don't know if we did face him in the play-in, if he could play in Toronto. We don't know if he could play in either building. He may not be able to, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. He may not be able to play against us, even if we play him. But it is probably better if we just avoid the Nets and let them be a problem. But it may be good if we play them face up and put them out ourselves so we don't have to worry about them later, do it in the play-in. Kind of thing. Because then it's less games. You get them in one game and then boom, they're out, kind of thing. But I don't know. It was going to be what it is. I'm not afraid of anybody. If we have to play the Nets, we play the Nets. But I'd rather get out of the play-in, and that probably means we won't play the Nets. So, and they're going to be trying to get out of the play-in just like we are. So we need one of the important things is we stay above them in the standings and not let them overtake us and try and take the spot that we're trying to take from Cleveland. So it's that kind of shit. Gary was picked number 33. Exactly, man. I see that. But what I'm saying is with the development is Gary took 3 or 4 years now into his career to be who he is at this point. I don't want to wait that long. I want to go get good guys that can be added to them right now. We don't want to develop guys on top of guys we're already developing. I feel like we have way too much development going on with the guys we have on the team. We need guys that are actually in their place and really good on top of this. That's why Thad has been such a great add-on, is because of his experience and stuff that I'm talking about we need more of on our team. One of the things I realized about Thaddeus that's really good about him being on Toronto is that he's played for so many teams for so many years that he knows most of the players in the league. If you see him at the free throw line, he's chatting with whoever we're playing against, and they have relationships. So in a way, Thaddeus is great because he can be a guy that gets us respect on the court, kind of like Kyle used to. That in a way, because he has a familiarity with so many players across the league, he's like, come on, guy. I used to play with you when we were in Philly and you wouldn't do this kind of shit and stuff like that. He can be that kind of guy out there to help us in those kind of ways. And I really like that. I just saw that the other day when we're playing somebody and I saw how chummy he was with the other team. And I said, well, this is good. And it makes sense because Thad's played for so many different teams. He has so many different teammates, so many different coaches that he knows so many different people around the league. That helps us in some ways because it gets us respect. And he can also be that guy on the court that's kind of like an intimidator or somebody who just kind of says, hey, listen, we're not going to put up with this. I've been around and we're not doing this, right? These guys, we're not going to have this. So that kind of stuff. Gasol was around that too. Yeah, the pick, it doesn't matter where it is. I don't care if it's really high or low. Sometimes if it's high, we have to pay them more money, but we could get just as talented a guy lower and pay him less, and he's a badass, and we get kudos because we found a steal late. And I love that kind of shit. I love hearing that we got a steal late. The Pascal pick is such a badass pick in the history of the NBA. If you go back and look at where Pascal was picked and what he's become, that is just badassery. And even that night when we picked Pascal, when they said his name, everybody was like, who? Who the fuck is Pascal Siakam, New Mexico State? They're like, who the fuck is that? And Fran Fraschilla or who the fuck those guys named Jay Billis, they didn't even fucking know who he was. And now they really know who he is at this point in his NBA career. So it's that kind of stuff. So, all right, let me see. Let me keep going. Masai and Bobby are geniuses in the draft. Anyways, yep. Kareem Thomas, I hope whatever you said was super funny. I'm going to read what you said next. Click to him saying, but Kyrie went for 60 against the Magic. Exactly. Who were probably last in defense. Yeah, of course. Is exactly what I'm saying. JT saying, I don't care who we get first round. You got to beat the best to be called the best. If we can break some hearts along the way, perfect. Man, this guy, JT's quoting Ric Flair. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! You can't like shirk your duties. You don't want to play the lesser team. You go in there and you play that badass team. You beat their ass and you get to your flowers and your kudos from the rest of the league because they got to say, well, this was the Nets and they were supposed to be a super team and the Raptors just put them out. That's what I love, that attitude. That is exactly right, JT. We can't shrink away from any of them. Whoever we get, the roll of the dice, whoever it ends up being at the end of the year with the positioning and the standings is who we're going to get. And they're not going to want to see us on the other side. The other team's not going to want to see us. And that's the way it's going to be. Oh, yeah. Kareem, all right, I'm getting ready for this. I'm all ready to get so much good stuff here. Kareem saying, I don't know what part of LA sucks more, the Clippers' lack of team productivity or the Lakers' fan base. Either way, we planted a toonie under the hardwood before we leave LA. Fuck cryptocurrency. Yes, yes. Kareem, yes, continuously. Your streak is intact. Listen, I love this in a couple different ways. The Clippers and the Lakers have different dysfunctions. It's so weird. Like the Lakers are such a mess, but the Clippers in some ways are just as much a mess in some ways. Yeah, this is the thing, Steve Ballmer. You can't just copy our homework. You can't just go look on our page what Masai Ujiri's writing on his test and just write your answers down because your test is different than his. Yeah, you don't have the same answers. So same questions. You're writing down the same answers as him for his test, but you're not putting in the same places because you can't just duplicate what we did by getting Kawhi, by getting Serge, by getting Norman, by getting all of our old players and trying to do it there. This is the thing. These guys haven't melded together. These Clippers have not melded in any kind of way since Kawhi has been there. They're not a team in some ways. I do not see them. He's shuffled so many different players in and out around him, kind of like LeBron doing the same thing, trying to figure shit out with his GM work with the Lakers, that they've gotten rid of so many good players that they did had. It's kind of like you sand a piece of wood and you sand it too much, it's gone. So these guys are sanding their wood with their rosters, and all their good players are gone. And now they're left with just the yes men, the guys who are like, they have to have because it's the bare minimum to have a roster. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Their team building, their team concept, and their plans, both teams have been absolute idiocy and fun to watch because they're failing. They're failing so badly. I love it. Andrew's saying ESPN is Putin's propaganda's machine. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. That like, look, there's so many propaganda machines out there today. I'm a propaganda machine in some ways for us, for the Raptors, for positivity, for believing in Larry O'Brien's coming more and more to Toronto. But ESPN's a propaganda machine for the things that they want to push about the NBA, the superstars they want to push, the ideas and the stories they want to push. And they may not totally look at certain areas and things and give it a real chance, like the Raptors. And that's what we're saying this week, is that we're realizing more and more how media, whether it's CNN, Fox News, ESPN, is very, very propagandized. And they have a narrative and a story they want to tell. And when you can see through all that, you can see the truth. And that's the thing. It's like CNN's just as bad as Fox News, and ESPN in a way is just as bad, but it's different areas of the world and the way they put things out. And that's what we got to realize as Raptor fans, is that part of the reason why Raptor fans have been so down and so negative and awful to the team is because we're conditioned by it, by the media we take in from the US. That they teach us that we should hate our team, that we should lower our standards for what our team is, because that's what they're trying to push on us. And I hate that. And the real Raptor fans realize it and they don't buy it. And we push forward just like the team. The team's like this too. The team's like us. They don't give a shit about all this noise and this bullshit and the fucking dumbass ESPN rankings and highlights and NBA TV and all the things they're doing and their pundits are saying. They don't give a shit. All they're doing is looking for the next game and the next W and just going out there and working. And that's the right way to do it. Oh, yeah. JT, it is hilarious. MK's here. Good to see you, MK. Haven't seen you a bit. Secretly listening at work. I'll talk quieter. Okay. Keep up the good work. Go, Raps, go. Yeah, I won't talk so loud because MK's at work and I don't want them to hear me. All right, JT saying, remember all the Lakers talk before the season? Oh my God, it's all I heard. Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. That's how you shut the fuck up, enjoy your bubble chip. Yes, yes. See, that's what I'm saying. It's propaganda. It's propping up people. That's why when I hear these prognosticators before the season say the Raptors are going to do this, the Lakers are going to do this, the Celtics are going to do this, I have to be like, but that doesn't make sense. And then, like, then you see it actually play out over the season. You're like, yeah, see, you motherfuckers, you were just inflating a balloon and that balloon popped. Boom. It was no good. JT saying they only gave us what, 30 to 33 wins this year? Yeah, that's insane. Like, it's so insanely low. And like, just like, are you paying attention? It's like these motherfuckers should be fired from their jobs because they're bad at them. They continue. It's like if the weatherman kept getting the weather wrong every single day, because the Raptors kept winning every season and they kept saying they weren't going to win, he'd probably get fired. So how do these pundits who continually get us wrong in the standings, or how they see us every year in, year out, they undervalue us, and then we overachieve, how do they continue to keep their jobs? They're obviously shitty at them because they're not seeing the NBA landscape and the teams objectively and understanding who is actually good. They have their favorites. Some of them are former Celtics, and they completely overvalue the Celtics. There's some of them are former Lakers, and they completely overvalue the Lakers. It's shit like that. It's so crazy. Kareem saying, I hate the media agenda, always slandering Toronto. That's why we as Raptors fans rely on YouTube channels such as yours to keep us informed. Good work. Thank you, Kareem. I will continue this fight, and we'll be here, I promise, every single day, even in the off season. I'm going to do some stuff in the off season. I'm going to make content. It may not be very long. It's not going to be these hour and a half long live streams with you guys, obviously, because there won't be that much to talk about. But they'll be at least coming in doing daily little news blurbs about whatever's happening around the Raptors team, even in the off season. And then maybe we'll have some fun. Maybe I'll talk more about other things and different things and stuff like that. It may be part of what you guys want to talk about. We can talk about whatever this summer, but I'm going to be here every day. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be in August or July. I'll be here still. All right, let's see. She's saying, not to beat a dead horse, but ESPN did a rookie poll at the beginning of the season and completely left off Barnes, but had late picks on the list. Yeah, they'll do this. They'll do this. There's actually people that are working at ESPN. They're in the higher management or executives that are putting this directive out. This is very calculated. Like I said, they have target audiences. They look at this as marketers would. And their target audience has nothing to do with Canada or Toronto Raptor fans. Their target audience is the NBA and the US and the US teams. So they will cut us out as much as they can because they don't think that it matters. But they obviously are stupid because they can't see every single NBA arena they go to. There's Raptor fans in it. There's Raptor fans all over the United States. There's all kinds of American Raptor fans all over the place. And this is the thing. We all see it. And maybe that's part of the reason why some people are Raptor fans in the U.S. because they like rooting for an underdog. They like rooting for a team to get slighted because they like being that dude who comes up like I am. Like I like being an underdog. I like being the David and the Goliath matchup because this is the thing. That's who we are. And people see that and they see it's getting slighted. And like people like NBA Chef, they jump ship and they come and join us because they realize what's going on. So, yeah, 100% for Kareem, for sure. JT's also saying even 10 games in, when Barnes was cooking, they redid that poll and still left our boy out. If Barnes doesn't win the Rookie of the Year, this league is rigged more than I thought. Well, it's just, it's not, it is rigged in some ways, but it's slanted. It's kind of like in favor. The things are, some people are going to be more favorable and stuff like that. Okay, let me see what, and don't get me wrong, Mobley is a great talent too, but Barnes is more effective on both ends. The stats don't lie right now. Listen, I've been looking at all their stats in between the three of those guys right now, and they're very close, but the win shares, there's actually, the thing is you look at, is you think of the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, and the season now. And Scotty's stats have gone up the whole season. Like they were kind of down in the middle. They were up at the beginning, in the middle kind of down, but now they're way up and way more ahead of Mobley and Cade and what they're doing right now. So it's man, it's going to be interesting. We got to really hope that Scotty continues to absolutely kill it because he has to put the pressure on them to make them say, like, you know what, he has to be Rookie of the Year. And it's tough because he has stiff competition. It's going to be very tough. So, all right, let me do the real mascot matchup of the day, Tom Duke. All right, last time we saw the Raptor, he was at a lake boat with some Lakers, this old couple, and they're like they're pawn shop. They're sitting there on their rockers on the boat, and the Raptor found this gold nugget in the yard, and he knows it's worth something, and he wants to find out. So he's brought it to this old couple, the Lakers, and he's shown it to them. And well, the lady's like, "We don't want to deal with you, your kind." Basically, is what she's saying. She's like, "Whoa, we don't want to deal with your kind, lizard kind." He's like, "Whoa." She's like, "What is this bitch?" She's like, "We don't deal with your kind." And then the old guy's like, I kind of want to deal with them. Let's see what he's got. And they're looking at the gold, and he's like, "Whoa, this is really good gold." And then the guy's kind of like trying to do some sneaky with his hands, like with the gold, and try and sneak it and switch it for like a fake gold that he has underneath the counter. So, and hoping the Raptor won't see it. But then he's doing it and he's moving his hands around, and and the Raptor catches him with it. He says, "Oh, I see what you're doing." So the Raptor gets pissed off. Yeah, his eyes start turning like white, and there's like some noise like dun 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 dun. He's mad because his old man's trying to rip him off, and meanwhile his old lady's racist against Raptors. So he's like, he hulks up and he turns into the Electro Raptor. This is where the Raptor mascot does a Lou Ferrigno and turns into like a real Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. And he fucking basically takes the Lakers, the couple, the pawn shop people, and he bites their heads off. Yeah. He goes, huh? And he spits them out into the lake, both the heads. He takes one head, spits it out. And they fall down dead, and they're corpses. And then he just gets the gold. He has his gold nugget still, and he leaves. And he walks away. And actually, you know what? He doesn't leave. He takes their boat, guys. Yeah, he gets on their boat, and they have a nice sailboat. It's a clipper. Yeah, it's a boat. And he decides, I'm going to go on a little boating cruise. So he unmoors the boat, and he pushes the corpses off the boat into the water. Actually, I think he keeps them around. Maybe he has them as a late night snack later or something like that. But he's taking the boat. So he's going out into the lake on the boat, and the boat kind of has an inlet there. The lake has an inlet, so it goes out in the ocean. And so he's like, I'm going to take this clipper out into the ocean. Let's see how seaworthy it is. And he does. He goes out there. So there's your cliffhanger, y'all. Is that clipper boat going to be seaworthy and keep the Raptors safe out there in the ocean, riding in the waves with that boat? And yeah, he took the Lakers boat. He chopped their heads off because he tried to rip them off for his gold. And now he's going out to the water. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out next time on the Real Mascot matchup whether the Raptor is safe on that boat out in the ocean. Oh, yeah. All right, there we go. Yes, Lumpy Rex. Yeah, Raptor. Yeah, the Raptors. Listen, it's like a Hulk, Incredible Hulk thing. You know that old 70s show with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno? The Raptor is the Raptor when he's the mascot. He's Bill Bixby. And then when he hulks up, he gets mad. You won't like me when I'm angry. He turns into a Velociraptor that has electromagnetism that can shoot electricity out of his like mouth and claws. And he also has a pack of wolves that follow him around from behind. They kind of come in and help him whenever he needs help and stuff like that. So yeah, the Electroraptor. Kenrick's saying these Western teams seen Scotty in the loose composure from 1 to 10. How mad are the Clippers going to be tonight? Oh, I want to see how we frustrate them. That really stems from our defense and how we do it. And if we're stifling and we're just really making it hard on them, yeah, that's fun. I love seeing that. I love seeing us frustrate teams, seeing guys throwing the ball down all hard, cussing, looking like, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I want to see that. JT's saying, how is Cade even in the discussion for Rookie of the Year? His stats are good, and he is like kind of the man for Detroit. So it's that kind of stuff. But you're right. He shouldn't be in the discussion if we're classically going by how you do Rookie of the Year. He's on a losing team. He's on a team that's not going to make the playoffs. So he, by that alone, should not be Rookie of the Year. That if you have two guys that are equal to him somewhat, that are on line to go into the playoffs, then Cade should be automatically X'd out of the discussion for Rookie of the Year. So that's how I look at it also. So I think that's probably similar to what you think. Yeah, JT saying, I hope the Raptor has his shots. No, man, this is a wild dude, man. Come on. I mean, I guess he might have had his shots for the pandemic. he doesn't have any shots for being like a wild animal or anything like that. All right, that's the real mascot matchup for the day. All right, once again, guys, for tonight, we just got to our game plan is out energy, out hustle, out rebound, out play, out defend, all that kind of stuff. When we do those kind of things, we get more field goal attempts, we get more offensive rebounds, we get more transition points, we get more points in the paint, we get more free throw attempts. We win. When we make more free three-pointers than the other team, we win. So let's do all that kind of stuff tonight. Hopefully we can get some frustration on the court from the Clippers on the other side. That's always fantastic to see. Steve Ballmer pulling out the little bits of hair around his ears as much as he can. Just, I hate that guy. You can see him sitting at the court side tonight going woo and acting all spazzy and stuff like that. He's such an annoying dude. Like, that guy was such a collusion motherfucker during our championship year, coming and talking to Kawhi with Doc Rivers when they shouldn't have been doing it. They should have been fined for it. They're fucking dirty, and they get what they get. A shitty team that they just copied Masai's answers off the test, and they didn't count on his test because he had the wrong questions. Yeah, they were different questions, you idiot. Roddy Piper said, just when you think you have the answers, we changed the questions, bitch. Yeah, I'm quoting a lot of wrestlers today. All right, let me see. G saying, if you look back at the LeBron throw on Barnes and people justifying it, there were 3 wide open Lakers in front of him he could have passed to. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. That's not a veteran play. That's a small child having a temper tantrum kind of play. That is not a 20-year vet, one of the greatest players of all time kind of play in the league. I'm sorry. It's just not. Lumpy Rex, let's go. Let's beat the Clippers. Let's finish this road trip right. 5-1. 5-winning streak, and fucking come back to Toronto and beat LeBron's ass in front of the home crowd with lots of boos. That's what I want, baby. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe, please share. And if you like anything, hit that red subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I get closer and closer every day. I'm getting more and more every day. You guys, thank you. All right, let's go. Let's beat the Clippers tonight. Go Raptors. Be great for. We know you'll be great, Scott. Oh, yeah. Woo! Yeah!